Hi, in this particular video we're going to be talking about reflection of shapes in the x-axis. Okay, so in this particular video we're going to be talking about reflection of shapes in the x-axis, and very typically the kind of question you're going to get, it'll say something like reflect shape A in the axis, in the mirror line x equals 1. Alright, so a couple of things that you need to do with this. Firstly, you need to establish where x equals 1. Secondly, you need to make sure that you draw relatively accurately for these kind of questions. They're roughly at about 3 marks, something like that. Okay, so the first thing is that you know already that this line along here, this axis, is called the x-axis. It's not the line x equals 1, it's just the axis. And this axis is the y1. Okay, so the first thing is I'm going to find out where x equals 1. Well, when we plot coordinates, we plot them as x and then y. So what I do is I'm just going to make up a couple of coordinates where x equals 1. Because if I do that and I then join them all together, it means that I can create a line on the graph that shows x equals 1, which is the mirror line that we need. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, so I'm going to go along 1 and up the stairs 2, along 1, up the stairs 4, something like that, along 1 and down the stairs, in this particular case, -6. I hope that's okay for you, and you should be able to see that the coordinates, plotting coordinates on the graph in some of the other videos on this particular channel. Okay, so I'm just going to stop the video and just draw that line in for you. Okay, so when we've joined the coordinates up, we've actually plotted the line x equals 1, which is this line here. And we call that, in this particular case, the mirror line. So the only other thing to remember is that everything that's reflected in the mirror line is perpendicular to it. So in this particular case, rather like I did in the previous video on translation of shapes, what I'm going to do is plot point by point. Sometimes it's quite tempting just to kind of imagine what the reflection would be like. That's okay, that can work. The only difficulty with it is that the shapes can get a little bit more complex. So just going on a point by point basis can work really well. Okay, so in this particular case, I've got 1 space away from the mirror line, so I'm going to go 1 space to the other side, which is going to be there. Here I've got 2 spaces away, so 1, 2, so I'm going to go 2 spaces back and get a point something like that. Again at the top there, something like that. Okay, it's a little bit difficult to see on the video or where I'm stood, but hopefully you'll get some idea that it's going to work out that we're going to get a shape that's something like that, where each of the points of the shape are equidistant from the mirror line. So if I've got this point here, which is 4 spaces away from the mirror line, then I would expect this point, let's call it A, to become the reflection, which is also 4 spaces away from the mirror line. And you should be able to build up the reflection, and usually it'll ask you to label it something like B. Okay, I hope that's been okay for you. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the reflection in the Y line, so where Y equals something. I'm sure it should be fairly straightforward for you. Please do like, add a comment, subscribe to the site, and I'll look forward to seeing you inside the next video.